everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of Pro-spectives, where you have two professional real estate agents giving you our perspectives on the market, both nationally, locally, and some tips and tricks for other agents. I'm Jess Preventer, the managing broker here at Laird Realty Partners in Bow, New Hampshire, and the team lead for Pro Homes Group. And this is my co-host,
Keith Allencourt with Laird Realty.
So one thing I thought was interesting is in this market where we're talking a lot about people staying where they are, lack of inventory, people stuck in very low, not stuck, it's a wonderful problem to have a low interest rate, but maybe that's not why they're selling. I personally would expect that many people are doing remodels or expansions of their current home. And this article that came out from the platform House actually said that's not the case.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised as well, Jess. When I started reading it, and then they say actually more people are actually holding off on starting those home improvement projects for several different reasons. But it's definitely interesting. I thought people would be jumping on this, keeping that current rate. House prices are still increasing, so equity is still being there. So, but apparently people are still waiting that out. But
yeah, and the reasons seem interesting. So they said according to this survey, 1 in 7 homeowners has put their home renovation on pause. That's 15%, and this just came out at the beginning of September 6th. They also said, and this is where I feel a little disconnect. So 15% of homeowners are saying they put their home renovation on hold, but 2/3 of respondents, 63%, said that they would rather stay put in their current home than to buy a new home.
Right.
So, that's interesting because I think that's what we both just mentioned. We expected people are staying put, and we know that people grow out of their homes and it doesn't really always work, so we would expect the renovations. The interesting thing is because those low interest rates, they're locked in on their mortgage, are pushing them to stay where they are, but the rising interest rates on that equity is what is making them part of what's contributing to delaying.
Just like buyers, it's just like buyers. Even if you're a homeowner, they're still very afraid of that rate, that interest rate. Something about looking at that number, it drives people insane.
It's true.
And I was blown away when I saw that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, and I think, they said nearly half of the projects planned for 2023 had a budget over $30,000. So it makes sense, if you're borrowing right now, like I have a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, and my interest rate on that is like, I want to say 10. So yeah, $30,000 with a 10% interest rate is high. The other reason, and this was no surprise to me, was a challenge finding the right professionals.
I saw that as well.
Almost half of
people, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's so interesting to me on kind of a cultural level, that we are certainly seeing that, a lack of availability of professional plumbers, electricians, general contractors. There's this real delay in being able to get those people to work on your project, or an increase in price for their services. So all of you high schoolers that are graduating, start really thinking about whether college is the right way to go, or that a trade might be a very lucrative career field for you.
I'll tell you, a lot of people in the trades right now they're naming their business. They're naming the price that they want to sell or provide at, and they're doing really well, really well. I was floored when I saw that, homeowners that had already completed their projects this year, that 45% number that they weren't sure if they had the right professionals, or they had a challenge kind of finding that right person to do that.
Well, and I can totally attest to that. We had a problem, as you know, earlier in the year in our home, and required a plumber, tile, all these things. And we went through 3 plumbers before we found the plumber who was able to diagnose and find the issue. And when I suggested to him, hey, I'm a real estate agent, I've really enjoyed working with you, I've had a great experience, and I'd love the opportunity to refer you out, he, no exaggeration, was like, please don't. He was like, I am so busy, I have more business than I can manage, so if you unfortunately meet with a professional and they're like, yeah, I can be there tomorrow.
There's probably a reason.
Yeah, there's probably a reason. So super interesting to me. And also just what will happen over time to these properties if they're not being updated.
Of course.
And they're not being maintained, or what will happen when they put these renovations in. It's fascinating. So we'll keep our eye on that, and let us know. Do you have a project that you're putting off, or that you wanted to get started and you're now delaying? We'd love to know. And if we can help connect you with quality.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're looking for somebody, a quality builder, or somebody to help run a project or just get you to the right person, please reach out.
Yeah. So moving on to New Hampshire. Before we get into the regular monthly news, which is we give you every month, we wanted to bring attention to the most expensive listing in New Hampshire.
Yeah, right in Rye.
It's in Rye. Right. It's beachfront property. So not surprising that would be expensive, but this property is listed by Jim Giampa. So shout out to Jim, great job. And this property is kind of blow your mind. I don't know about you, but we every year kind of do that drive up the New Hampshire coast and stare at all the houses and say, oh no, I like this one, I like this one. And this is 17 Straws Point Road in Rye, New Hampshire, and it's currently listed for $25 million.
$25 million. But this one, you can see 3 states. You can see Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts from almost all of the rooms. So, this one tops the top, right?
Oh, right. So, it's incredible. It's on kind of like this jut out, over 10,000 square feet, livable square feet, 5 bedrooms, which doesn't 5 bedrooms sound small for 10,000 square feet?
It does, but I went through and I actually looked at the pictures, and you're like, well, each room is like, 30 by 30 by 30 is what it feels like looking at the pictures.
So 5 bedrooms, 7.5 baths.
That's
so every bedroom has its own bathroom.
And then some.
And then it has an oceanfront outdoor infinity pool. So you can be lounging in a heated pool, but see all ocean around you. It's very, very cool. And what I thought was interesting and really helps is this property was listed, like I said, it is listed for $25 million, it's on 1.3 acres. But in December of 2022, which was less than a year ago, another residence on this road, 60 Straw Points Road, was purchased for $25 million. It was an off-market deal, so it wasn't live on the MLS, which frequently happens with these very upscale properties, these luxury.
Oh, they're not doing an open house for that?
No. Oh. We can. I would love to go in and look. Maybe we can call Jim. What can you do for us? But it sold for $25 million, so that gives a lot of credence and credibility to this pricing strategy. He's kind of on
at first you're like, it's crazy, but then you look back and you can quickly point to something that didn't even have might not even have a big net to try to catch.
Sure. And I mean, Jim is right. He commented that they are not often on the market, and this is true. People who families that have this typically hold on to them for generations and generations to enjoy. They update them.
The legacy home.
Yes, that's what he called it.
The generational wealth,
which we always talk about in real estate.
We all want.
Might not be $25 million, but maybe a little bit more, less.
20 million. That's fine.
any million is fine. Anyway, I want to kind of contrast this large property and just kind of put our more realistic glasses on and take a look at what's happening in New Hampshire. And the 11th consecutive month in a row that sales decreased by a double-digit amount. It was 23.2% drops from last year. It's actually, I thought this was fascinating, it's been more than 2 years since New Hampshire saw an increase in year-over-year sales.
I saw that, when I read that too, that was something that jumped out to me. 2 years? I'm trying to think back, and it's definitely hasn't been that good.
No. In terms of the number of sales. So
Correct.
that's the number of closed
Correct.
properties. The year-over-year median price, on the other hand, continues to go up.
Yep.
And we have consistently gone up since February of 2020. That is 42 months. The median price in New Hampshire has continued to go up.
Equity.
Yes.
You know, that's why you need to get in that house, you know, because I don't see that stopping.
And you know, a lot of people say what goes up must come down. Totally get it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that speaks to our affordability. Affordability is down to, I think, 59.
50, yep.
Which what that means, that affordability index is saying that you take the median. Now remember, median is not average. Median is the number that falls in the center. The median price point and the median income, and it is saying that the median income is only 59% of the income that is required to buy the median home. And so I know that's a little confusing. It's a little tough
confusing the way that they say it.
to like wrap your head around, but
it's too much of your income.
It's too much. Yeah, we definitely want that closer to 100. And in the past, it's been much over 100. So we really, you know, there's this real conflict, right, between affordability and prices, especially with the rates. As rates come down, affordability typically goes up because the rate can make such a huge difference in your monthly payment. The problem is then we take those two things and we combine them with our lack of inventory. Mm-hmm. And inventory it is still down. It's down 18% since last August. Again, a double-digit decline. So when we're talking about the number of sales completed versus the number of homes on the market, the number of homes on the market is down 18%. So it only makes sense that the number of sales, even if all of those sold, it's going to be down. And what, you know, we're still at 1.8 months of supply. And I know you've heard us talk about it before, but 5 to 7 months of supply is a balanced market. So with such a lack of supply, it's like holding our prices up here, even though, you know.
And, you know, we can see a little bit into the future as far as houses being built and developments being put in. So, you know, there's no help around the corner. You know, Again, that's why we talk about, you know, getting into that house or even that get into that condo. If it's not a 15, 20-year plan, it can be a 5-year plan. Again, equity, build that equity, rent out. You know, I'd almost expect, you know, all these, you know, low interest rate homes, if they're going to move eventually, they might even just keep out their house and rent. So, 100%. You know, you got to get in where you can get in, and because I just don't see a decline or a drop on that anytime
soon. Especially, and you know, we're even seeing it in the rental market, which we talked about last week.
Yeah, they all go hand in hand, right?
We have a friend that just moved into a new rental. It's a 1-bedroom. It is around 600, just over 600 square feet, and he's paying $1,700 a month, you know, not including utilities. So, you know, that makes a huge difference. So if you're going to be kind of constrained into that environment of a rental, you might as well purchase it and be gaining equity to push you into what you really need. So all of that to say, if you're interested in selling your house, now is still a really good time, especially if you have a well-maintained home.
Or a place to go after you sell that house.
We'll find them the place to go. Come on, let's not discourage. Anywho, so moving on to our tips for agents. We are heading into Q4. And the fourth quarter of the year, we typically see a slowdown as we head into the winter months, and Q1 here in New Hampshire is usually our slowest time. What I would say, and what I'm encouraging everybody in my office to do, is to not slow down.
Do not.
I always think of September as my New Year's resolution, as my January 1st. School starting, we're in a new routine, and it's time to buckle down.
I like
and
that.
Put in the work. Well,
press on the gas.
Press on the gas. Exactly. when everybody else is taking their foot off, when everybody else is going, oh, I'm going to take the kids.
They don't like to get up in the cold in the morning. They want to sleep in.
Yeah, 100%. And with all the conflicting information in this market, that is our job, is to be the resource for our people and to not leave them floundering and wondering. So be proactive, get out there and pedal to the metal.
We'll be out there. We'll be ready to go. You just send us in any questions that you have. If you need to meet one of us, we're ready for you. But yes, we will not turn it down in Q4 or Q1.
No.
We will press on the gas and we will go forward.
Right, and continue to bring value to our clients and customers. And if you're an agent out there and you're wondering what you're going to do as we head into these cooler months, especially if you haven't had a super successful year, right? A lot of, when we're talking about this many fewer transactions, there are lots of agents that in the past couple of years have been very successful, and you look at their numbers this year and they're, slow to nil. Then it is in your best interest to do everything you can right now and through Q4 to set you up for Q1. And there is always an opportunity to reset, reevaluate, and push forward. And if you need encouragement and you need excitement and you need someone who's gonna push you, that's what our team does. We work together. There's business to go around, and we elevate each other and push each other to grow and develop and move stronger. And if you're move stronger, you get what I'm saying. Yeah. We're here for you, and we're here to help all of the agents in New Hampshire. You don't have to be a layer agent.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be a member of our board. We are here to support you, encourage you, and if you need some ideas, give us a ring, or you want a mastermind. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So until next time, it's Jess and Keith signing off. See you next week.
Thanks, everyone.